Okay, here we go, guys. The cereal is, let's get you to zoom in. There we go. 8023 is the code. 920102 is your cereal. Okay, so here's the story. You kind of guess the story. Alright, so here's what happens. Try to start this one. I got all three of these with a miller and a big deal. And man, it's a lot of work fixing these things up. Really, so the plan is I get them running and welding and then sell them cheap and let you fix them up. Okay, so this guy's been sitting since 01 at least. It's got 01 on the oil filter. This one's got 96 on this oil filter. And this one's got a pretty rough spot on the frame. Okay, so this is the guy to get running first, right? So I try, and the cap on the distributor on this one is good, and this one was old, so I switched it out, and then you see all these newer style wires, and this cap's like brand new inside of there. And switch it out. This guy put a new water pump, it looks like, on here. See it? So it looks like a new water pump. This one looks like a pretty good candidate. So I get spark, I pull out and put new plugs in. Put Marvel's mystery oil in the cylinders when I first get it to turn over. And that really helps lube the cylinder walls and not have a problem. This carburetor is off of this machine. Both machines had Marvel carburetors on them. So that's pretty cool. So it's a pretty decent carb. And I get it going, and I got a really faint spark, and I got a really low speed grinder, but it's still actuating the grinder. So exciter shunt coils is out. So I pull and multimeter ohm them out. This guy's shunt coils are good. These are the shunt coils that come out of the machine over here. Spray a varnish and insulating spray on everything. Take the brush holders off and put the best brushes of the two in there, which are pretty full, as you can see. These are etching primer, sandblasted. So I sandblast brush holders, etching primer, put that all back together and get spark, and that's where we are here. Rheostat's good, smooth, everything's good. Selector switch the knobs off, because if you look at right now where we're at, we're in the center. You know what I mean? When we click to a switch, our selector's off just a touch. So no telling what's going on there, but it's probably just the Allen in there, right here on the selector side. Okay, so that's everything. Because I don't have a choke cable hooked up. You see I don't have a battery either. I give it a little shot of carburetor cleaner. Fires right up. See? Boom. Flip the switch, fired up. What do you think, Lincoln? to. This machine sounds better than the other machine because the governor hasn't been tampered with. Governor hasn't been tampered with on here. Hadn't been tampered with on here. Machine number 1 on eBay, he's messed around with it. So that's why this one doesn't sound as good. All right, time for a little welding demo. We're getting on up in our time. See if I can't do a better job than yesterday. That was some pretty shitty looking welds. So. I think it's impossible to do it through the phone, through the hood. It's pretty, you can't see what you're doing. Idles up and down good. Pipe liner 5mm. So not bad, it knows what it's doing. There's looking through the hood. That fucking, it's bullshit. You know what I mean? When you hold the hood and hold the camera and do everything, it's a little bit hard. All right, so anyways, runs up and down, idles, does everything it's supposed to do. You see it does not have a battery, and you see it does not have a, doesn't have the fuel tank hooked up. Just, you still gotta do a little bit of work to it, but it actually runs pretty good and welds pretty good. All right, there you go. Number 2 on eBay.